Good day, viewers, and welcome to today's edition of the Sport Rep Show. I'm your host, Limba Mupetami. Now, without wasting any time, let's head over to the hit list. The Volviches of Namibia will have their backs to the wall when they take on Uruguay in their final Rugby World Cup match in Lyon tonight. A campaign that promised so much has quickly unraveled, with Namibia now having conceded 219 points after their first 3 matches. The chairperson of the Namibia Annual Sports Awards adjudicating panel, Leslie Chiwetha, has warned sport administrators to give accurate information on athletes' performances at national and international competitions. Chiwetha was speaking this week during the announcement of the Sports Awards finalist ceremony, saying some sports administrators provided information to the panel of judges with no dates. Namibia's national women's cricket team, the Capricorn Eagles, got off to a losing start on the United Arab Emirates tour when they suffered a 19-run defeat against United Arab Emirates in Dubai yesterday. Well, of course, with that, we come to the end of the hit list. Let's cross over to the Game Changer segment right after this break. Our episode this week will have Max Njala as the subject of our focus. Njala has been Namibia's #1 men's squash player for the last few years. He has been playing squash since 2008. Here is his story.
Bounce twice. Well, that's the problem with squash. Well, today we are joined by Max Njala, and he will be teaching us the ropes on how to play squash.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
Okay, well, like I said earlier, for this one, we are joined by Max Njala, #1 seed in Namibia when it comes to squash. Max, I was in the court with you now, and wow, this sport is not what I thought it was. It's not as easy as I thought it was. But first and foremost, how are you doing today, man?
I'm very well. I'm very cool. I'm relaxed. I'm ready to take action.
The weekend was fantastic. Yeah, we had the PSA, your first PSA. Before we get into anything else, let's talk about your PSA match. How did you? I mean, we spoke about it on Friday last week, and then we're talking about it was your first PSA match. Just tell the viewers about the excitement that you had going through you and how you found the match.
To quickly round it off, I mean, it was a good experience for me. And then to get the players from overseas and outside of our borders, it's actually good, challenging matches that we got and new flavors that we got and new tactics that the guys are. And you can see the fitness level of these guys. It's way much on a higher level than ours. And I think an experience like this can happen like every single year at least.
Yeah.
It will boost our squash in Namibia.
Yeah, look, I'm sure it will make our squash better because the competition that was here, the matches that we saw, nail-biting, fans were sitting on the edge of their seats and just enjoying the game. But first, I also want to find out, how did you get into squash and when? When did you get into squash and decide this is your sport? Because I don't see myself getting into squash just like that, unless it's with help from you, of course.
Okay, it's a funny story. I was working back in the north, in Oshakati.
Okay.
And then my wife, she came to me and said, listen, you want to play squash? I'm like, what the heck is that? She said, no, let's just go. She got 2 rackets. I mean, she was from Windhoek.
Okay.
At Santorini, that's a place, some hotel there in the north, in Ubadiva. And then she started hitting ball, but she kicked my ass, I'll be honest with you. And I was so quicker and faster than her, but she still beat me. But immediately I fell in love with it. And then 2012, we moved to Windhoek, and I decided to start playing squash. So I actually played with Gwen Lister, Nelson Narunga. These are the old veterans of squash. Yeah. They all beat me, so I was so eager. I went to Virgin Active just to join up the club because there were 4 squash courts there. Okay. And then I just started playing squash.
And then the rest is history, and here you are now, number 1 seed.
Exactly.
Okay, but like, speaking of, like you said, you were faster than her, but she still beat you. Is that you just saying that squash takes more than just speed?
Yeah, I thought if you are sitting from the outside, it looks really, really easy.
It looks easy because you guys really make it look easy. I tried and it didn't go well. I tried.
Yeah, but if you get on court, it's a different story. It's almost like playing chess because you need to think within seconds. I mean, you need to think where's your opponent. You must play the ball away from your opponent, and then you must make your opponent work harder than you. But if your opponent applies the same pressure to you, then it's going to be a 50-50 thing.
Chance.
It's a running game.
Okay, now another question that I have for you is, let's say with the finals that we saw between Adegoke and Damien. Yes. I mean, Damien went into the lead 2 sets into the game, and it made it look easy. I mean, it made it look easy, but Adegoke came back, won all the last 3 sets and won the game 3-2. What is the mental ask that it asks you to complete such a task? Let's say you fall 2 behind. How hard is it to get back into the game and to actually even win the game?
Yeah, I've seen stronger players and let's say players that are on Damien's level. And I think for Damien, he was confident with the first 2 games that he took, matches. But I think to actually finalize it with Adegoke got a little bit of, he pushed harder, and there was also some physicality on court as we saw. And then Damien was trying to prove that, I mean, he's fighting with the ref and the player at the same time. But I think it's the nature of sport. Yeah. That's actually how it is. But you just need to be mentally strong. And for me, I'm not there yet, but I've seen players like Devil Tfanike, the number 1 seed in South Africa. He's a very, very good player when it comes to stuff like that. When he's under pressure or when his opponent is putting him a lot of pressure, then he can actually come out of it and just take the match.
Just take the match.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I wanted to find out, what can we expect from you for this year in squash? Viewers, your fans, what can they look forward to? What do you have planned for them? What do you have in the books? What's going on? I mean, we're already getting ready for something that's starting today, so yeah, just run us through that maybe.
Okay, guys, to be honest, I mean, I'm not getting any younger. Okay. The years are flying. So I'm doing this because you must also consider I have a full-time job at the moment, and then I have a family to take care, so I have to get a balance between squash and my family, but family comes first at the same time. But for me, I love the sport. Yeah. And as long as my legs are standing to, I will go as far as I can. And each and every year, I just improve on my skills. I'll go overseas, I'll go over the borders, go play with South Africans. If I can go overseas, do some PSAs, I'll do that lovely and just improve my squash. And then I'll bring it back to Namibia. I'll coach the juniors that I can and just spread the experience over.
With the experience over. Yeah. Speaking of help the youth, help the young ones, this young man that's practicing behind here, he is actually the number 1 seed junior.
100%.
I mean, I spoke to him a couple of times. The boy loves you. The boy adores you. And how does his future look like? I mean, he has you to help him get to where he needs to be. So you that has seen him work, you have seen him the raw talent that he has, what do you think of him? What is his potential?
I mean, he's got so many years ahead of him, and I think the experience that he gained so far from where he was a year ago and from where he is today, it's two different players at the moment.
Okay.
And he's not the only junior that I'm actually currently training. There's another one. His name is Timo.
Yeah.
And then we have another. And then we have a.
Okay.
And then we have another. I had another junior girl, lady. She moved to South Africa. She's also the number one seeded under 17, 18, I think there, and she did very, very well. So for him, playing with us, because we're not being nice with him, we give him all the tough work, and it's not just on court. It's actually off court as well. We do some fitness for his leg, his upper body, his core, his strength. Because squash is not just all about on court.
It's not.
Because you need to strengthen your legs, you need to strengthen your core. So for you to keep up the pace and the pressure and the endurance in this thing, you really need to work hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we can get it for you. We don't have a lot of time left, but a good 2 minutes spar between the two of them will definitely be great. So I'll try and see if we can sort that out for you. But Max and Jala, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. But one last thing, for the youth that are out there, for the young ones that are watching you, for the young ones that admire you, what message do you have to share for anyone that tries to get in squash, or anyone that's busy with another sport and they maybe don't feel like they can push to be where they need to be?
For the youth out there, I know this is actually hard for them to actually engage with squash, especially when it comes to squash facilities in Namibia. We don't really have a lot. It's just in town. I mean, if you look at in Katutura there, we were trying to actually spread it over to get some funders to actually build one squash court there or two, just to get the youth and also to spread it out down to the north in Shakati. There was a time I went to Oranjemund, and there was 4 squash courts, and I drove down with one senior. It's only the two of us when we play there. We actually were met by, I think, over 50 juniors in Oranjemund.
Wow.
But they don't know how to play squash.
Okay.
So we did a little bit of squash clinic there. I think for the youth, they should just, maybe we'll try to market this sport as much as we can. We'll try to get the government in. We'll try to get some funders in so they can just financially back us. And then it's a good sport for everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually restrict you with age or anything like that. I'm 41 and I'm still playing it.
Still really good at it.
As far as we can, we want where there's 2 UNAM courts, squash courts in UNAM. So we also advising students to go and engage there. And then we'll try to get maybe in the next years 2 or 3 squash courts in Katutura just to get more juniors involved.
Yeah,
for the youth, it's a very beautiful sport. They must come and watch it and they'll just fall in love with it.
I agree, definitely. Well, stay tuned for the little 2 minutes where we will see these guys showcase how the game is played. But Max, like I said, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you very much.
Thanks.
Well, you guys, that's all that we have for you on this episode of Athletes World. But please do stay tuned.
Thank you.
Boom.
Welcome to the Sharpshooter segment. Local boxing promoter Immanuel AC Moses says that boxers need proper exposure in order to make it abroad. Well, of course, we caught up with him, and this is what he had to say in this interview. Okay, so we're joined by local boxing promoter and trainer Immanuel AC Moses. For a lot of people who don't know you, Ace, you used to train boxers at the MTC Nesta Sunshine Boxing Academy. And then from there you went on and opened your own boxing academy, which of course is Ace Boxing. Just tell us briefly, you have been with Sunshine, you moved and rather started your own thing. How was it that side? And how are you doing right now?
I know everything go well. So actually I started boxing in Lutherans. Then I moved to Windhoek. So I want to thank my Lutherans people for backing me up when I was in Lutherans. Special Karas boxing team. That's the people I used to work with, and I came to Windhoek for the national championship as a Karas team manager, and then I started living in Windhoek with my brother in Shadipala. So it was good, you know. So like I said before, I'm very pleased. I'm very happy. So and I'm humble and I'm very lucky to come from the house where boxing was the #1 sport that's supported by our parents, grandfathers, grandmothers, and all. So and then Hitman of course started boxing, and then he was successful as an amateur, then professional, When I moved to Windhoek, because we were staying in the same house, I used to accompany Hitman at the gym. So then I started training at Nesta's gym with Hitman and with other boxers in the gym, the Rambo and Tindi. By that time, Taz and Shona by that time. And of course, I was always in between gyms. So I used to train with Nampol as well, because Nampol have more amateurs at Sunshine. There were too many professional. And you see, me coming up, I was too young to train them. So, and I was more active when I went to Nampol. Then I improved more from Nampol because there's amateur boxers. Then I come back to Nesta's gym, then I can do a lot of things. So working with Nesta, it was a good experience. So we work like a big brother and younger brother. And of course, we know when we grow, everybody wants to do something, and it can only benefit the country at the end of the day. So the move might not be good to him, but to me it was a success, to the boxers that are now in my wings. And of course now we have two big stables in Namibia that can challenge each other. And sport is all about competition. Healthy one is perfect.
Yeah. Now, talking about AC promotion, how are you getting boxers into your gym?
Most of the fighters, they actually just believe in my hard work because I'm a go-getter. I don't really wait for nobody, and I'm that person that cannot be discouraged by somebody. Just you can't instill your fear in me. My confidence is on another level. So that's why when everything I've been doing, you can see me going to the state on my own from 2012, 2013, 2015 consistently. And consistency is the key when you want to be successful. So I took that path because I already have the background as a national coach. I have a background of a trainer of professional fighters. I work with 3 world champions that I train myself as well. And of course, with that experience, all I needed was just an extra education, exposure. Go out there, meet different boxing trainers, meet promoters, meet the sanction bodies, bosses, get to know how do they promote boxing, how do they match fighters, how do they approach, So I started going to convention. My first convention was in 2015 when I went to Orlando, Florida. And I actually took a long trip to the state. Started from Las Vegas, stayed there for a month working with Mayweather Senior. And that's where I got the AC name. And then from there I went to the convention, attended the convention in Orlando, Florida. Took a trip to Miami. It was also part of my holiday experience and just learning new things. And I remember on our way, the Uber driver from the hotel where we were staying, it was the time when Donald Trump was campaigning. And I think by that time Obama was the president, so he was telling me the background of the Democrats and the Republicans, and so it was just more interesting. I learned a lot, so that's why even when it's come to politics, I know what is happening. So me learning from that, when I came back, I actually started with my own academy. So then I started with my young nephew, Special One, of course Desert Storm, and Indongo joined me, and Nabunda joined me, Kapita joined me, Force joined me, and other new boxers, Mosquitoes, then we have Ngashea. So I was just having amateurs and those veteran boxers. So I was helping them now getting fight overseas. And they start earning and making good money because sometimes opportunity comes, especially when you're at that level, because in professional, when you are aging, those other fighters, they also need you to groom their upcoming. So if you still have it, you can win some, you lose some. But at the end of the day, boxing professional is business. So that encourage a lot of fighters to join my gym because most of the time they see what I do. They follow my page, AC boxing page. They see what we post, how we train kids, how we mentor them, how we educate them inside and outside boxing. And the most important thing to me, I was focusing more on telling people life after boxing because you need to plan your future before it's too early. Just like I planned mine when I was a coach. Otherwise, you might remain a coach forever. And then the time you wake up, you start seeing things different. You aged already.
Yeah.
And nobody will listen to you at that time.
Okay. Now, the young group of boxers that we have in Namibia at the moment, do you think that they have what it takes to compete internationally? I know with a lot of guys, they do very well locally and then they do very well in Africa. But then when they reach the States, first round, these guys knocked down.
Yeah,
what are we doing wrong?
Number one, we have to make sure that America is where boxing is made. And then financially, they support it very well. And that's why you see, when there is money, there will be more competition. and they go for the best fighters. Africa, we actually support our fighters with moral. We don't really fund them correctly. And I feel like we have a lot of good talents here. They just need proper funding, need proper training, and proper exposure. And then exposure comes when you can maybe take your fighters for a trip, maybe to the state, visit different gyms, spar with professional top guys, higher level fighters, where you go in sparring and then you feel like you are just studying boxing. So because some people just need to be awakened, and also exposure play a major key, because the mindset of a fighter can make them to be the winner. Sometimes you go there, you think you are poor here in Namibia, but when you go to America, you see how those other people live. They live 5 in one house, small house. You live in a large house here. But it's just that the business level of boxing in America is different. And their skill set, and they start young, and they really take it very, very serious. Here we have a lot of responsibility. You have to go to work, you have to do this, you have to do that. In America, when the guy is a boxer, they stick on that until they become successful. I think we just need to work on that a little bit, and also with promoters in the country and gyms, they need to work together in terms of sparring, see, because now people have a lot of egos.
Yeah.
And the ego kills the fighters. It doesn't benefit the fighter, it kills the fighters. Because a fighter from AC, if he can spar with a fighter from Sunshine, the result will be better. But if a fighter from AC is just sparring the AC boxer, you are used to this, there's no competition, you need to challenge. And those are the things that people don't understand. And the fighters themselves, they don't understand the importance of choosing sparring partners. Because you are the one stepping in the ring. Sometimes you fight a guy that he doesn't even bring anything to the table similar to your opponent you are going to fight. You're just going to be ready, fit, but skill-wise, you are going to be outboxed.
Yeah. Now, speaking about egos, Ace, your fighter, Flame Nangolo, has been calling out Nati Kakololo for the 14th of October. He's going to headline that fight, of course. Now, would you say that your fighter has ego if he's calling out a senior, seasoned guy like Kakololo, or is it just business?
No, it's actually business as usual. And I think Special One believes in himself.
Win a double trolley dash in our birthday promo while saving on these. 10 kg top score for $112.99. 2-liter original Coca-Cola for only $18.99. 1.5 kg real good mixed chicken for just $64.99. 750-gram Nola mayonnaise at $28.99. And 700ml all gold tomato sauce, also only $28.99. See the details of our incredible double trolley dash competition at vurmanbrock.com.
Well, of course, now that was Immanuel AC speaking about Namibian boxers and what they can do to make it, to make it in boxing abroad. And of course, now we move onwards with Le Joel. That is our special rugby segment. So let's get into it. The Velveteers of Namibia will face, of course, that is Uruguay tonight. It's going to be a crazy match for the Namibians in Lyon. Well, this campaign promised so much as Namibia tried to win a match in all of their 3 matches. They've played Italy, they have played France, and of course, they played New Zealand as well, but no win for Namibia yet. They have conceded 219 points after their first 3 matches. Well, of course, tonight, if you are a rugby fan, please do catch the Namibian match and do support the boys as they try to win a match against Uruguay in the Rugby World Cup, that is. Well, of course, with that, we move on to Globetrotter, the international sports segment.
This month on DSTV Premium, the English Premiership is in full swing. Catch all the footballing action.
He's done it again!
Damian Lewis and Guy Pearce star in A Spy Among Friends, a thrilling limited series about a double agent.
Espionage going to be intoxicating.
And relive the masterful comedy of Key and Peele with both season 1 and 2.
You're feeling it!
It's your moment to be entertained by staying connected to DSTV Premium.
Well, speaking about Arsenal, Bukayo Saka has joined Arsenal's growing injury list after Mikel Arteta revealed the England forward is struggling with a foot problem. Well, Saka limps off in the closing stages of Sunday's 2-2 draw against North London rivals Tottenham. The 22-year-old will definitely miss Arsenal's League Cup third-round tie at Brentford tonight and could also be sidelined for Saturday's Premier League game against Bournemouth. Moving on, Peter Shaluliles, of course, the Mamelodi Sundowns forward, will equal the Premier Soccer League record for the most number of wins from the start of the league season if they beat Stellenbosch tonight, adding yet another milestone to their name. Well, of course, best of luck to Peter Shalulile as he tries to increase his goal-scoring tally in the DStv Premier League. Now, we have come to the end of today's show. Sport Rep will, however, be back again tomorrow, so do join us then once again.